What we've now seen on television for everybody to see gives us an opportunity, I think, to finally have the kind of conversation that's been a long time coming.
And with that conversation, I think JFK said that those that stand in the way of peaceful revolution make violent revolution inevitable.
Yeah.
And he wasn't talking about the states, but it's relevant now.
Yeah.
And so how necessary are the protests that we're seeing all over the country? Peaceful protesters, young protesters, angry, frustrated protesters. How necessary are they to the process of moving the ball, of the policy ball, the legislative ball?
I think as long as they're peaceful, I think they're necessary. When they turn violent, then they're counterproductive. But
we can admit that the vast majority of these protesters are not violent.
Absolutely. And that's why I had them in the Oval Office, some of these folks who've been organizing these protests, because the old adage, power concedes nothing without a fight, I think that's true. But what's also true is that a country's conscience sometimes has to be triggered by some inconvenience. Because I think a lot of people who saw the Eric Garner video are troubled, even if they haven't had that same experience themselves, even if they're not African American or Latino. I think there are a lot of good, well-meaning people. I think there are probably a lot of police officers who might have looked at that and said, that is a tragedy, what happened, and we've got to figure out how to bring an end to these kinds of tragedies. Then attention spans move on, right? There's the next thing. There's some international crisis. There's something that happens here. And change doesn't really occur. And the value of peaceful protests, activism, organizing, it reminds the society this is not yet done. And part of what I said when we convened a meeting on Monday here at the White House was not only that I was announcing a task force that has to report in 90 days with specific concrete steps around training, around how we are equipping police, how we're holding police officers more accountable. Not only were we going to put more funding into some of the training and technology that can prevent these things from happening, but I'm going to stay on this. Not only am I going to stay on it, by virtue of this staying in the news because of some of these protests, hopefully the entire society says, let's finally try to make some real progress on this.